Oh. Thank you. Does clapping mean I don't have to deal with questions?
So my question is on, you mentioned the pivot to Asia at the end, and I was just wondering how, considering you talked about hedging strategies as a potential disaster, how would you evaluate the potential pros and cons of that going forward?
Question about what I call the rebalancing, and referred to by its initial name of the pivot to Asia, and hedging and their perils. That I think this strategy, the Obama strategy, started out with a pretty simple recognition of the obvious. The most dynamic, and in that respect, most important portion of the globe is Northeast Asia. Most people, largest militaries, largest military budget, most nuclear powers, largest trading nations, largest foreign exchange firm, and this includes the United States in this. It's also one of the least institutionalized, least structured regions of the globe. So what are the pillars of stability in Northeast Asia? There are two. Economic interdependence. Markets are wonderful things, but they're a lousy basis for national security. And the other is the legacy alliance network put in place to defend against a country that no longer exists. But necessary because having something is better than having nothing. And you can't replace something without a better idea. Moving towards some type of more comprehensive collective security arrangement that brings everybody inside the circle, NATO-like, as opposed to the existence which has China, among others, outside of the circle. Structurally, it's a problem. So on the security dimension, Obama's attention to, got to pay attention to security is right. It's also America in decline counter. We're going to pull back after Afghanistan, after Iraq. We probably don't need to have so many troops in Europe 70 years after the war. But we're not pulling back in Asia. Not building up, but not pulling back. Reassure folks out there. That's one pillar. This is I think a more important one is Trans-Pacific Partnership, the trade portion of it. The WTO global level Doha round is dead. At least that's a judgment been made lots of places. You can't get a global solution, so you work on the two that account for together about 80% of world trade, US-EU and Trans-Pacific Partnership. That's not anti-China. China is eligible to be a part of the TPP negotiations. It has to ask, and it has not asked to do that. We can talk more about that. The third is sort of the showing up, the diplomatic. Participation in the building of regional architectures, which are you with preoccupation with the war or attitudes that the Bush administration was perceived by Asians as dissing them? It didn't show up for meetings in the third piece. We're going to show up. How are you going to show up? We're going to join things like the East Asia Summit. We want to be a part of building that architecture for Asia, not on the outside looking in. There are times, some of this, where China sees this as an opportunity to, together with the United States and others, to build a new architecture, and at other times interprets it as anti-China. That bolstering the alliance structure, not drawing down. What gets pointed to is 250 Marines going to Darwin, Australia, as somehow an effort to contain China. Any country, I like Marines too, but any country that's afraid of 250 of them a couple thousand miles away has got real paranoia. We out of time?
Yeah. We can do one quick.
Earlier you said that some perceptions informed by fact and some informed by fear. Where do you see U.S. policy going? Do you see it going in the direction of being informed by fact or informed by fear as a lot of the policy
It's great. I think informed by facts, mostly. And because that is the default setting. I mean, U.S. policy in Asia, particularly China, has been remarkably constant over 8 administrations because it makes sense and because it works. We're going to have a lot of political noise about security. Let me take a minute here. That defense expenditures. We spend, give or take, $800 billion a year on defense. And we don't have any enemies. Some might think that's hard to justify. In order to justify defense expenditures, you need at least a country of China's size and uncertainty to be the hedging. Not China as an enemy, and not going to make China as an enemy, and nobody's right mind would want to make China an enemy. But when you go before the Congress and you want $800 billion, you better be able to point to something. Why do we need $800 billion for a long time? Over the 70 years of Cold War expenditure, it has become one of the most important mechanisms for redistribution of wealth in the United States. There's a military facility in every congressional district and county in the United States. It's how we move money from rich places to small places. It's how we support school district, the canteen factory that provides the jobs that are on Main Street. Its economic impact cannot be changed overnight. Do we need to move to a more rational way of competition? Of course. But right now it's in defense, so you have to have an adversary or a potential adversary. So the fear balloon will be up there, but the policy driver is going to be fact.
Please join me in thanking